And man, can you hear this bass line behind? Tudum, kudum, 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 kudum. 皆さんこんにちは、yorobun annyeong. Hi everyone, this is Leo for Asia on Air, the ultimate channel for all K-music and J-music lovers. Today I would like to make a review because this is what I like the most, making reviews of city pop albums, or at least like 70s and 80s music from Japan. And today I would like to focus on, if he is not the god of city pop, just like Tatsuro Yamashita could be, I would say he's at least the king of city pop. Yes, I'm talking about Toshiki Kadomatsu. Toshiki Kadomatsu, who is not only a singer and a composer, but also a producer. I think he's around 61 years old now. He debuted in 81 and he produced big artists such as Anri with her very famous album Timely, and I think most of you know the song I Can't Stop the Loneliness. And he also produced the album Bitter and Sweet by Akina Nakamori, which is definitely her most city pop sided album. Knowing that he is still active today, his career is pretty huge and dense. He just had a hiatus between 93 and 98. And I would like to focus on his very first major album today, released in 81. It's called Sea Breeze. It has been released under the label RCA, and the title track of the album is a song called Yokohama Twilight Night. By the way, I would like to make a quick reaction on a live performance of this song and see how it goes, and then we'll start with the real review, the real album review. What about we start right now? Sea Breeze, the album by Toshiki Kadomatsu.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
Alright. Yokohama Twilight Time. It's a performance coming from a concert held in 93, so 12 years after the release of the song. This guy is so classy. I love his style. Funky and jazzy, just like I love it. Do you hear the congas behind? It's the Latin influence. This kind of groove, I love it because it's in between binary and ternary counts. That makes it very bouncy, you know? Oh, the synth, so 80s. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think this version is slower than the studio version. Oh man, I love it. This syncope. Ah. Nice break. You know, I read an interview recently. I'll talk about this interview in my upcoming review of the first album of Tatsuro Yamashita. It's an interview about the origin of the city pop genre. And the interesting thing is that city pop is actually pop, but a bit more refined, a bit more sophisticated. And this guy was mentioning about this in this interview. Indeed, like to me, city pop is pop, but more sophisticated. And it's coming from Japan, it's as simple as that. Yeah, when you hear all the chords and all the rhythm, it's not something that you get in the classic pop, you know. That needs at least a bit of a technical level to compose something like this, you know. Sax solo. And man, can you hear this bass line behind? Guitar solo. Oh, I love his hairstyle. A lot of Japanese guys used to have this hairstyle in the 80s. I love that. And his jacket is like a bit bigger. Actually, his pants as well are a bit bigger than his size. And this was the fashion as well in this era, even for American people. Oh, the zoom! It's a ninth note. As soon as Sea Breeze starts, the first track, Dancing Shower, sets the tone. We are about to listen to a very bright, dancing and funky album. The influence of Earth, Wind & Fire to me appears quite obviously, especially when you hear these celebrating trumpets and trombones. And I got surprised by the cool and aquatic synth sound. One thing that caught my attention as well is this last 70s and early 80s characteristic crispy sound of Toshiki's mic, just like we get, for example, in the album Love Trip by Takako Mamiya. I love this retro sound. Then starts the relaxing Elena with its lovable organ and bass lines, its damn sharp drums and the uber romantic voice of Toshiki full of reverb. This song is worth paying close attention to the regular change of beat and also the performance of Toshiki as a singer. Well, first of all, Toshiki articulates a lot in this song, which makes what he says easy to understand, even for foreigners like me. And knowing that, I can easily figure out when he sings a vowel that he's making a kind of an evolution in his sound by moving his mouth, and if you add to that his unique, slightly hoarsely voice, you can then recognize him among thousands of singers. This is what makes his signature. The third track, Summer Babe, is I think one of my favorites. Toshiki's vocals are pretty technical and demanding since it's fast and light in the same time. And the musicians are also groovy and light. From the keyboard, the bass again, the choirs to the organ synth solo in the middle, that's totally my universe, and I like the fact that they incorporated Latin percussions such as the claves and the timbales during the outro. I'll quickly pass on the languorous ballad Surf Break, presenting a classic guitar arpeggio line on a ternary beat. It works, but it doesn't surprise. Because the following song, Yokohama Twilight Time, does surprise. First, that intro, which is gonna serve as a post-chorus too, is so damn cool. Actually, the whole song is polished like a diamond. We get the signature use of the 9th chord ending the chorus, so dear to Toshiki to add a touch of complexity. And by the way, Toshiki is singing the 9th note himself, which is uncommon. He is indeed ending his melody on the 9th, one more originality that he has. All the parts, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, are smoothly connected between each other. The saxophone and guitar solo are grand, and the outro becomes ecstatic when supported by the tambourine and the voice canon. Yokohama Twilight Time is hands down one of the grooviest of the album. Here is now another song I love so much, City Nights. The tempo is so perfect in here, and it makes the tune sound really confident. I love Toshiki's singing too, getting a bit harsher and a bit arrogant on purpose to make him sound like a seductor. On the instrumental side, once is not custom, the piano is stealing the show by having a true richness in the chords throughout the whole song. And eventually the electric guitar solo steals the outro. I guess you know it now, I'm not so much into ballads, which makes the 7th track, Still I'm in Love with You, kind of anecdotal to me and a bit long and repetitive, but interesting fact, it ends on the sound of the waves, which, just like we saw it when reviewing the album Aqua City by Omega Tribe, is a tradition in many city pop albums. Talking about the sea, the last track, Wave, starts on an interesting melancholic piano backed by a violin synth and the amazing synth waves chords that hit after that don't lie. Wave is more than just a ballad. Yes, it does have a real softness, but the effort put in the quality of the arrangement brings the song to another level of emotion. Wave is absolute pure beauty. I totally understand why Seabreeze had the privilege to be re-recorded in 2016. As the first major album of Toshiki Kadomatsu, it already proved his abilities as a singer and a composer. He sounds unique, groovy, and never forgets to distill some richness and complexity here and there. It's a true bright and positive message, romantic as well, perfect to be listened to by the seaside, or to bring a seaside along with you whenever and wherever you are. That was it for today's album review, guys. I hope you liked it. I hope you liked this video. If you did, as usual, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Now, if you want to support the channel and have access to a bigger, I would say thicker content, I invite you to become a VIP member on my website, leodargery.com. When you become a VIP member, not only you get access to the early feed of all the public MV reactions and reviews, but you also get access to exclusive content. So go check it out, and remember that the first month of subscription for the VIP membership is free. I'll see you around very soon on my channel for another MV review, MV reaction, or album review like this. Until then, as I always say, don't forget to make every day your birthday.